Good morning to you on a chilly morning here in Bologna, Italy. And today I'm going to run through with you the cars that the F1 drivers drive to the track. As you can imagine, there are a variety of cars that the F1 drivers drive to the track. Now, this video doesn't deal with what they drive at home, because that's often hard to find out, but I can definitely tell you what they drove to the track in Bahrain. So let's kick it off with the current world champion Lewis Hamilton drives a Mercedes GLE SUV. He actually swapped during testing. He drove a black one, but during the race he'd switched to a white one. Now that's normally driven by his physio Angela Cullen, and she will normally drop Lewis off at one of the gates and he'll head in from there. His teammate Valtteri Bottas arrives in exactly the same car, although his trainer Antti Furulla will normally drive it in. Both of them will park in the car park and both will walk in through the swipe gates together. That car's worth around 70,000 euros. Now, when I give you prices here, bear in mind that there's a whole lot of extras, there's a whole lot of different countries that these could be priced in, so these are rough guides. Don't be going out and banking on this being the exact amount of money. In this video, I'll tell you what 19 of the 20 drivers drive into the track. Now, I can't tell you what one of them drove because I never saw him arrive at the track. Never saw him actually go in through the swipe gates, and I'll get to that at some point here. Max Verstappen, Red Bull driver, powered by Honda, comes in a Mercedes G-Wagon. In fact, it's an AMG G63. They're worth about 132,000 euro. Beautiful looking car, very iconic. He had a white one for his crew of 4. His teammate Sergio Perez also came in a white G-Wagon. Although Sergio was dropped off right at the gates normally, and then his brand manager Luis Alvarez would go and park that G-Wagon in the car park and walk in solo. Onto the McLaren drivers, the two of them, Daniel Ricciardo, came in a black Nissan Patrol, big four-wheel drive, accompanied by his business manager Blake Friend and his trainer Michael Italiano. Getting on to Daniel's teammate, that's Lando Norris. And Lando came in the same car, a Nissan Patrol. On one day, he came in alone, driving. His trainer John was running a bit behind schedule. On another day he came in driving his crew of 3, and on the other 2 days he was a passenger. The Renault boys, Fernando and Esteban. What were they driving? Fernando was driving a Renault Koleos. They retail for about 35 grand. And Esteban was in a Renault Megane GT worth around 20,000 euros. Moving on to Ferrari now, Charles Leclerc was in a Maserati Quattroporte. A beautiful looking car, not cheap. They go for around 130,000 euros. And I can't remember seeing Charles drive in at any stage. Normally that's left up to his trainer, Andrea Ferrari. Charles's teammate Carlos Sainz also came in a Maserati Quattroporte. In that car, they had a full complement of 4, including his father, Carlos Sainz Sr. He had his trainer, Rupert Mannering, and also his manager, Carlos Honorol. 3/4 of the car were Carlos's. And as you can see here, they park side by side on one day, making a lovely pigeon pair. Just quickly, you need Canity.com if you have staff and want them well trained. This is the world's best online staff training platform. I recommend it to you highly, Canity.com. I've already mentioned the most expensive cars that the drivers arrive in. What is the cheapest, the most economical? Well, the AlphaTauri boys know, because they drive in a Honda Civic. You can get one of those for about 17,000 euros. Pierre Gasly arrived in a white one, while his teammate Yuki Tsunoda came in a grey one. Once again, they would park in the car park and walk across. Happy to greet most photographers and smile and say hi. Next up, Haas. And Mick Schumacher arrived in a Chevrolet Tahoe, worth about 48,000 euros. On 3 of the 4 days during the race, he was dropped off at the far end gate, left to go in while Sabine parked the car in the main car park. And on one day, he was obviously running late, and they parked in the main car park and he had to sprint in when they had to do the shoot out on the track. His teammate, Nikita Mazepin, rolled up in this. Actually, no, hang on. No, that's wrong. He rolled up in a Nissan SUV, which is worth, well, under 50,000 euros. Antonio Giovinazzi rolled up in a Jeep Grand Cherokee, a nice big white one worth about 34,000 euros. This is the partner that I can't tell you anything about, Kimi Räikkönen. We never saw him once arrive. Never saw him park the car, never saw him go into the swipe gates, but I'm going to suggest that he probably rolled up in that. But if you've got evidence to the contrary, please put your comments below. Would love to see what he rolled up in. Here's another Nissan Patrol, this time being used by Williams driver Nicholas Latifi. Nicholas's teammate George Russell was in a white Lexus. His trainer Aleix Casanovas was doing the driving there, and on the Sunday he came through the main swipe gates with his girlfriend Carmen, who was the third in that car. What did Sebastian Vettel drive? Well, he's an Aston Martin driver, so you'd think he'd drive an Aston Martin, and he did. He drove an Aston Martin Vantage. Beautiful blue soft top, looked pretty snazzy coming in, and of course they had logos on the side of the car maximising the exposure, as did Lance Stroll on 3 of the 4 days. Now neither of those two drivers drove in, they passengered in, but on one of the days it had been arranged with the Aston Martin promo crew that they would do a shot of Lance driving into the car park, getting out of the car from the driver's side and then going into the track. It's a bit of a giveaway too when you see 3 Aston Martin people, a video, a photographer and a producer or someone conducting the shoot, all standing outside the swipe gates with their kit and on the phone obviously to the boys in the car. So this day he got out of the car, walked in through the swipe gates, and then Martin, his trainer, jumped into the driver's seat, pulled the car into the car park. I did see Lance's dad, Lawrence, roll in a quite magnificent gold-coloured Aston Martin DBX. And Christian Horner and Adrian Newey rolled up in a blue Mercedes G-Wagon. So out of all of those cars, you'd have to say that there are 3 that stand out, and they are the G-Wagon from Mercedes, driven by, strangely enough, Red Bull people, the Maseratis, driven by the Ferrari boys, and the Aston Martin Vantages. And at the lower end of the scale, you've got the Honda Civics, driven by the AlphaTauri drivers. Some of the drivers had their names on their stickers for their cars, which was great when I was trying to identify in the car park which cars I should be photographing for this particular video. Avoid changing currency at an airport. They pay some of the highest rents, and as such, you're footing the bill for that, and the spread between buy and sell rates can often be horrendous, sometimes 20, 30, maybe even 40% if the currency is lightly traded. You're better off finding somewhere in the city where there's more competition, and if you do have to change currency, just change enough to get you to where you have to go. And don't be fooled by that no commission sign. If they're not charging commission, they're still making money because they're just building it into the rate. And if you want to find out what the real rate is, ask them for the buy and the sell rate. And the real rate will be somewhere in the middle. Diverting a little, I did a live stream last night, and there were some interesting questions that came up there that I thought I might address here. One of them was how much does it cost to get paddock access? You can't just pay to get into the paddock. It's not a ticket that's available. You need to be an invited guest, and that would be, well, not at this time at the moment because there are very few invited guests, but normally if you were, say, with a team and they invited you, yes, you would get access. What about celebrities? How do they get in? Do they pay? Somebody asked. No, they don't pay. Once again, they are invited guests of a team or perhaps the FIA, but not during this particular period. Another question I was asked was what events was I looking forward to this year? Imola, Portimao are both tracks I've never ever shot at, so it's a new challenge, and because I'm getting there early at both of those races, I can spend close to a full day scoping out where I think I need to be shooting from to get some good pictures. Although I'll have a week to spare in Portugal, and I probably have no idea what the hell I'm going to do for that week, so I'll be interested in your suggestions, where I should go, what I should see, where some great accommodation is. I would like to see that great surf beach, but I understand, I think it's Nazare, but I don't think it goes off at this time of year, but I would love to be there on a 50-foot wave day or 100-foot wave day. That would be thrilling. A reminder too that if you've liked the video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't done so. Members, you would already know that you get free wallpapers once a month, plus VIP members get their name at the end of this video. You can find all of my F1 images at prostarpics.com, where you can download them. For those of you looking for a great gift, send somebody an F1 driver photo book. They'll love it, I absolutely guarantee it. And all of the books now have images from the last race and testing in the Middle East. Oh yeah, for my best pictures live from the track and during the week, you'll find them on Instagram by searching @KimElman. And I hope you follow me on Instagram. We're very close to 150,000 followers there and clicked over 85,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Now, do I have anything else to say? Oh yeah, I'm going downstairs to get a pizza shortly for lunch, which should be nice. And yes, I might even ask for pineapple on it. Thanks for watching. Stay passionate. Don't ask me why the Coke cans are up there.